Would you risk your entire savings for a dream? No, really. Picture this. You've got a little money saved up. Finally, after months or years of telling yourself no to coffee, takeaways, Ubers, friends, joy, life, you've eaten so many budget meals you now refer to rice and beans as gourmet fusion. Then this opportunity shows up. A golden goose. A shortcut to the life you deserve. Something inside you screams, "This is it." And like an idiot, like me, you go all in. 12,300 pounds. That's how much I lost. Not on drugs, not on gambling. Worse, I invested in a friend's business. Yes, I can hear the collective sigh of every financially traumatized person on the internet. We've all got a story that starts with, "So my mate had this idea," and ends with, "And now I'm broke and emotionally damaged." Let me take you back. I was 27, working a soul-sucking job where the printer had more personality than my manager. I was saving, grinding, eating expired food with the confidence of a raccoon in a bin. And then, my friend Josh comes along. The smooth-talking, crypto bro wannabe with a vision. He says, "I'm launching a sustainable streetwear brand. Ethically made, digitally marketed. Gen Z loves that stuff. You in?" I should have said no. I should have said, "Josh, the last time you had a vision, we ended up in Amsterdam with no passports and a 400 euro fine." But I didn't. Instead, I said, "Tell me more." He pulls out a pitch deck, aka a PowerPoint made in Canva. Slides with stats like streetwear market worth $185 billion and Gen Z cares about climate change. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, the market is big, Gen Z does care, and Josh is wearing a beanie. That's very entrepreneur-coded. I convinced myself I was investing in the next Patagonia meets Supreme. He asked for 10,000 pounds. I gave him 12,000 pounds. Why? Because of two things that should never mix, FOMO and delusion. I romanticized the whole thing. Investing sounded cool, adult, like I was on Dragon's Den but without the dignity. I imagined passive income, late-night phone calls about profits, Instagram captions like, "Don't work for money, make money work for you." Turns out my money went straight to work, at the bottom of a financial graveyard. Let me break down where that money went. 3,000 pounds on marketing, which apparently meant paying a 19-year-old TikToker to wear the hoodie once and say, "Drip check." 2,500 pounds on a pop-up store. In a part of East London where the only foot traffic was a lost dog and 3 people trying to escape gentrification. 1,200 pounds on branding, which was just a Fiverr logo and an Instagram feed that looked like a Tumblr from 2014. And the rest? Operations, a fancy word for vibes and chaos. 3 months in, we had 36 hoodies in a warehouse, 423 pounds in sales, and Josh posting motivational quotes like, "Success is just failure that didn't quit." Sir, we didn't fail forward. We tripped, slammed into the pavement, and called it character development. Here's the thing they don't tell you about losing money. It's not the money that hurts the most. It's the regret, the shame, the internal TED Talk you give yourself at 2 a.m. What were you thinking? You could have used that money for a deposit. You trusted Josh? I started budgeting regret like it was rent. Every 100 pounds I lost had a story. This 100 pounds could have been therapy. This 100 pounds could have been groceries for 2 months if I just ate frozen peas in sadness. I didn't just lose money. I lost trust. In myself, in people, in the idea that I could ever outsmart the system. Because let's be real, most of us didn't grow up learning this stuff. We weren't taught about investing. We were taught to save, but saving for what? To watch inflation eat it alive like a greedy Pac-Man? So when an opportunity comes up, especially one that sounds like a shortcut to financial freedom, we jump. Because we're tired. Tired of working hard and staying broke. Tired of seeing influencers make millions selling air in fancy bottles. So we risk it. We risk our hard-earned, emotionally attached, panic-saved money on things we hope will save us. But most times, we end up losing twice. First, the money. Then, the version of ourselves that believed in a shortcut. Want to know the worst part? I didn't even tell my family I invested in the brand. I was too embarrassed. Imagine calling your African mom and saying, "Mom, I invested 12,000 pounds in an organic hoodie company." She'd hang up and call Jesus directly. It's not just me, though. Everyone's got that story. The ex who convinced you to start a content house. The stranger on Reddit who said Shiba Inu coin was going to the moon. The friend of a friend with an NFT monkey. We've all been there. Burned, bruised, but now slightly wiser and very sarcastic. I wish I could tell you I got the money back. I didn't. Josh eventually disappeared into spiritual healing and rebranded himself as a life coach. I'm not joking. Man went from entrepreneur to enlightenment in 3 failed hoodies. Meanwhile, I was trying to recover from financial heartbreak with instant noodles and YouTube videos titled, "How to Emotionally Recover from Being Financially Stupid." But here's the punchline. That 12,000-pound loss? It taught me more about money than any finance book ever could. Because money isn't just numbers. It's trust. It's fear. It's hope wrapped in delusion sprinkled with capitalism. Now, I ask different questions. Not, how much can I make? But, what am I really risking? Can I afford to lose this without emotionally combusting? Am I investing or escaping? If the answer feels like therapy, it probably should have been. Let me give you the ugly truth no one says out loud. Most of us are one bad decision away from chaos. And most opportunities are just expensive distractions in disguise. You don't need to go big or go home. Sometimes staying home and protecting your bag is the smartest move you'll ever make. If I could go back, I'd do it differently. Not because I hate risk, but because I didn't calculate it. Risk is fine. Stupidity is not. And what I did was financially romantic suicide. Now, I invest in boring stuff. Index funds. A high-yield savings account. Me, screaming internally every time I don't buy the latest hot tip on TikTok. I've learned to love boring money, because boring money grows. Boring money doesn't text you at 2 a.m. saying, "Bro, the manufacturer ghosted us." So here's your takeaway. If you're still watching and haven't thrown your phone in the sea, that one opportunity you're tempted to risk your savings on, pause. Ask, is it proven? Do you have extra money for this? Would you be okay never seeing that money again? If the answer is no, or, "I don't know, bro, it just feels right," don't do it. Let the hoodie business die in your head, not in your bank account. Because here's the truth bomb. If it sounds life-changing and it's not a stable job, a long-term plan, or free therapy, it's probably a trap. And the price isn't just money. It's your peace, your confidence, your ability to trust your own decisions again. You want to know what's powerful? Not flexing some risky investment that might pop off. It's looking at your account 6 months later and saying, "I still have my money and my dignity." So no, I'm not rich now, but I'm smarter, wiser, and slightly more paranoid. Which, honestly, is underrated in the financial world. I don't jump at shiny things anymore. I squint. I ask questions. I walk away. Because I'd rather be late to success than first in line for disaster. You want freedom? Start by protecting what you already have. Because I risked everything for a hoodie brand that didn't even deliver the hoodies. Learn from me. Don't be the idiot that has to turn financial trauma into a YouTube video just to feel better. But if you are, welcome. The water's cold. The shame is real. But the lessons, priceless.